The names just keep on changing. Hey, I am Chuck the Bureaucrat, and one of the funny things you're going to notice about bureaucracy is how much they like jargon. And at first glance, this is going to seem like just the normal shorthand that in-groups use to distinguish themselves from outsiders. But when you get to the higher levels of bureaucracy, like at the Pentagon, you're going to notice something that's really peculiar. There is a strong tendency to rename institutions when new senior leaders show up, and this is particularly obvious when the institution is an event that has to happen. For instance, the Secretary of the Army somehow, some way, has to issue guidance to prioritize how the Army builds the president's budget request. And even though the meetings and the documents are going to be very similar and they're going to follow a very similar timeline, new leader, new names. And you're probably figuring, so what? What does that matter to me? Well, let's say you're only going to be at the Pentagon for 2 or 3 years. From that perspective, nothing actually changes. But you're probably going to run into old-timers who use different words to describe things. And while you may view these processes as new and revolutionary, the old-timers are going to recognize that most of the content was lifted directly from the legacy processes. The other thing to keep in mind is for when you become the old-timer, and particularly when you're interviewing for jobs, people are going to rename things, and it's going to seem silly to you. Resist the urge to say, oh, you mean the SRG? That's its real name. And then go on to explain how things were a lot better when you were doing it. No one likes that. And now, if you want to reverse engineer writing a resume for USA jobs, watch this video.